Hello. I appreciate that most of you that watch this channel are here for Shearline footage, and trust me, there is nothing I would rather be doing than getting on with that. But life keeps throwing curveballs, and that hasn't happened. I have started quietly dismantling the limousine. It had to happen. But I've been quite busy with things away from here, and indeed some stuff that is here. So there's a really good mate of mine just bought quite a nice Citroen ZX, which is a bit weird. It's a 1.9 normally aspirated diesel with aircon. It had aircon once, it doesn't anymore. I've put it on a vacuum and it doesn't. I don't know what the likelihood is of getting parts for that, but anyway, it needs a few little jobs doing. So that's here for a bit. Ironically, some of the jobs that need doing I could have done for free because I had the parts in stock for ages, years, and I just binned everything a while ago, which is slightly disappointing because I could have fixed that. But anyway, apparently I have the correct parts coming for it, so I can do a bit of tinkering on that. There might be a video on that one because weirdly the guy that owns it said he'd be happy for me to do a video on it, which has never happened before with somebody else's car. Yeah, so I can't really get on with that at the moment because I've got a ZX out there. My C5 needs all the brakes doing fairly urgently. I'll probably throw a cam belt kit on it. The weeping steering rack again, and a knock from the front suspension, which I think is actually the anti-roll bar, because I've had it on the ramp and I've given it all a wiggle. I can't feel any play in it apart from the anti-roll bar where the offside rubber bush has disintegrated again because of the LDS leak from the steering rack, and LDS kills rubber. So I need to do that again, and some other stuff which I forget. But anyway, there's a list of things I need to do to that car. It's desperately overdue a service, and I've now inherited the green BX, which was a nightmare. If anyone's dealt with DVLA of late, some of it was my fault because I sent the logbook back and tried to change the taxation class from disabled to PLG at the same time. Having never done that before, I just assumed, given that there was a taxation class thing on there, that would be absolutely fine. Turns out, no, you can't do that. And then they apparently lost the logbook. Well, I just Tipex it. They sent it back, Tipex the PLG thing out, sent it back. They lost it. I was then told that they tried to fine me for not taxing it or sorting it. Oh, I've got the money here. I'm quite happy to tax it. I can't because I don't have any paperwork, because apparently the new keeper supplement, I had the number on it, invalid, couldn't do it. I don't know why. I can only assume it's because it was quite an old logbook, because Dad's had that car for ever. So that was a nightmare to sort out, but eventually I got it taxed. The insurance on it is ironically slightly more expensive than it is for the 16 valve, but it is modified, so, and it's still, it's fair play to Asia Influx, really nice people to deal with. I know some people don't like various classic insurers, but I find them absolutely lovely to deal with. So I was actually chatting to a guy that was properly into his cars, which makes a change. So that's now mine. That's currently on the ramp because it has done no miles for a long time, and I have put 2.5-ish, I think, or maybe a bit more, 100 miles on it. And the gearbox, that chirp that it, viewers from the old channel might remember that I mentioned that it was chirping when it changed into third. Don't like it. I know I'm going to have to take the gearbox apart, and which is fine. But I really want to take that car to Rustival because I wanted to take it last time and I couldn't. So that car is going, even though the Shearline's booked in, but that might have been slightly optimistic. Very optimistic. But anyway, maybe next time, if I can get things sorted. So I've just been flushing the transmission oil in that, and what came out of it is not old, but it was a little bit black and a little bit burnt smelling. Didn't like that. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, that will be going home again probably next week, and I'll put a few more miles on it, and then I'll flush the oil again, and then I'll flush the oil again, and so on, and so on, and so on, and see if it makes any difference. It probably won't, but you know, keep the oil fresh. Happy days. And then I've had the 16 valve, which you're sat on the ramp. The front brake started binding really quite badly. So I replaced the handbrake cables because the near side one had done. They were first line ones and they're too long. It's really hard to get Likoi handbrake cables and they're the correct length. They don't rub on the wheel. I could not find any anywhere. Last time I got some, it was difficult to find, which is why that one ended up with Likoi and this one ended up with first line. Or it might have been the red one that ended up with, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, this one had first line. They'd rub through. So I replaced handbrake cables and the discs and the pads. And if you rotated the wheel backwards, happy days. If you rotate the wheel forwards, they'd lock up. Well, pretty much. They'd go very, very stiff. They were dragging. I'll chuck a photo in of... I could only find Comline discs. I don't have a problem with Comline discs, but I could only find Comline discs. And they paint them. But you should be able to see from the photo that there's already scoring on it. The car hadn't been anywhere. I was just rotating it by hand. The reason for that... behold, shiny new. This one came from Chevronics, and the other one came from eBay because it's all I could get. But the sliders had, in fact, this is brand new, but there's absolutely no lube on them, so I shall lube these up before it goes on. The sliders were fine. I replaced them because the caliper was doing that, and I replaced the sliders because I had new ones, and it made no difference. It turns out the body of the caliper had worn quite badly, very badly on the near side, a little bit badly on the off side. They are original calipers to the car. They're 35 years old and they've done 181,000 miles. So they've done all right. And I'll be fair, I haven't done a lot of miles in this car for quite a long time. And the last couple of times I did the discs and pads on it, I didn't do the usual. I hadn't lubed them. So it's probably my fault. But anyway, these are fine, aside from, obviously they're not for a 16 valve, so this jaw is different because it's narrower. But this bit, the bit that matters, is the same. So that's fine. It's 2 bolts, and you just change the jaw, chuck them on the car, happy days. So should be, there's, I can't remember how much that was, but it was reassuringly expensive, as you would expect from Chevronics, but they do this stuff. So, you know, I'm quite happy to give them my custom because they allow me to keep the cars going. They also had proper ABS flexes, so I figured it can have some ABS flexes. Because I haven't done them for years, so I figured it may as well have some new ones. There is the brake pipe that goes to the offside front flexi has got a little bit of rust on it, which I'm not very happy about, so whilst it's in bits, I was going to change that for a Kuna for one. I can make that up here, that's fine. But then this happened. Very much out of the blue, well, literally blue because it's blue smoke. It always puffed a little bit when you fired it up, just initially, but the last couple of times I've run it, I fired it up from cold and it was misfiery. It cleared pretty quick, but there's a lot of oil coming out the exhaust. So I'm pretty sure the valve stem seals are goosed. This engine I built 71-ish thousand miles ago, I think. So it's not done a lot of miles, but that was a quarter of a century ago. And much like that one, because the green one has suffered quite a lot from sitting around not doing anything. This car has spent, I've used it a bit the last couple of years, 2-3 years. But before that, it spent a lot of time just sitting around not doing anything at all because my left ankle was knackered and I couldn't drive a manual. So, I mean, there were some years where this literally, it went from here 5 miles up the road to the MOT and then came back again and sat here for the next year. So I don't think that's done it any good. Annoyingly, my tame parts man has retired, and the guy that's replaced him, where I always used to go for pistons and rings and bits of engine, the guy that's replaced him doesn't really seem that interested. He said, no, I can't get them, just go somewhere else. Which is quite annoying, because I've spent a lot of money there over the years. I won't be spending any more there. So I'm now on the hunt for, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just valve stem seals, but if I've got to take the head off, I may as well, whilst the head's off, do the rings, if not the pistons. If I'm doing that, I'm pretty sure the bottom end of the engine is absolutely fine, but it's got to come out anyway. If the shells aren't perfect, I may as well do the shells. It does have an oil leak from the front crank seal. It's had that for a while. It's also got an oil leak from the back of the head. So it won't hurt to, I think, pull the whole engine out and rebuild it, if I can get the bits. So valves, guides, seats, it's just everything. I've got a brand new set of tappets here somewhere, which I need to find. And if I'm doing that, I mean, the clutch is fine, but it's 25 years old. I may as well put a new clutch in it. And the gearbox, it's not really got any worse in all the years I've had it, but the diff does whine, and it's always whined. So I may as well pull the gearbox apart and do the gearbox, haven't I? But if I'm doing all of that, the front subframe's quite rusty and a bit bent, where you know, MOT inspectors in the past have jacked it in not the right place, and they've bent the little legs on the back. I have another 16 valve subframe, which is alright. So I could replace that too. And if I'm pulling all of that out, I may as well respray it under the bonnet area and make it all pretty. However, that then gets into more time on this as opposed to getting on with that. So I think I'm going to try and be a grown-up about this, which is difficult for me. But I'm going to try and be a grown-up about it, and I can take the head off and pop the pistons out without taking the engine out of the car. I don't need to do the clutch now, because the clutch is fine. You know, the gearbox has not got any worse in the 25 years that I've been running it. I mean, granted, I don't rag this car, but it hasn't got any worse. So, yeah, I might just do a top and tail on the engine without taking it out of the car, use it for now, and then go back to plan 74C, which was rip the front of this apart and do the roof and all the rest of the bits that I didn't do. Which, if you're watching the series on the 16 valve that's currently happening, that happened some time ago. I know. Reasons. But I've still got to do the roof and the A-pillars and put a screen in it, which I have got in stock. So I may as well just fix the engine and not have it in bits for months, because I could do without that, because I'm an old man now, so I will be doing the engine on the ramp, and I don't want a dead car on the ramp for months again. I can't have a dead car on the ramp for months again. I've got a lot of other things that need to go on the ramp. So I'm going to try and be a grown-up about it. I'm going to get all the bits that I need in stock before I pull this engine apart, because although I can't really use the car like it is, I don't want to use the car like it is, at least I can fire it up, move it, and get it out of the way if I need to. So that's the plan with that. Once I've done all of that, apparently there is a skiff arriving any day now, imminently, which will take care of all the crap that's out there, which means I can finally get the limo out of here and get the body off that, which would be nice, because I've run out of room for more parts for that car. There's just bits of it everywhere. I've got enough, almost, not entirely, but almost, to build the car. I've certainly got enough to do all the mechanical stuff. A lot of which has come from Mr. Hill, so thank you if you're watching. And I was offered, a subscriber emailed me and offered me a complete jackal system for the Shearline for free. He just wanted it to go to a good home. I met them a couple of weeks ago now, I think. I do need to come and see you again, I will get on that. My apologies, it's been quite busy. So I will give you a ring directly. Sue and Richard, lovely, lovely people. I popped round to collect some bits. 4 hours later, I'd held them up quite a lot, so I had to depart. But it was, compared to most people I've met in the Shearline world or had dealings with within the Shearline world, it was incredibly refreshing to just meet a lovely couple who were just really, really, really nice people. And it was, I'd never met them before, but it was just like talking to old friends, which was refreshing. So thank you, Sue and Richard, and it was lovely to have met you. And I will come and see you again directly as soon as I've got everything else ducks in a row and stuff. But yeah, I will find a day and I'll come and see you. So that is about it. There's literally nothing exciting. I haven't recorded doing anything on that. I'll probably record doing the engine on this because, I mean, I used to be quite known for building engines, and I haven't done an engine build on this channel at all. I mean, the original channel started with an engine swap in a Volvo B10M, and that wasn't a full build, and I didn't record. That was like the start of me recording stuff, and I didn't record, I mean, 90% of what occurred on that because I couldn't be bothered. I'm not a YouTuber. I just upload nonsense. So if you stuck with this so far, thanks very much. I don't know why, but thank you. So yeah, that's it, I'm afraid. That I've got to do a bit more tinkering too, but that's staying here tonight. And I'm going to take the C5 home and see how far it gets. The little return pipe from the rear firmness regulator did the usual, it split. Do you think I could find any pipe? And of course you can't use rubber pipe because LDS destroys rubber. So I've had to bodge it with a bit of plastic pipe, and I don't know how long that'll last. I don't really care anymore. I hate that car. But anyway, it does at least have aircon and it's quite warm. So yeah, I'm sorry to say that's it. There is no update on that aside from I have more parts. And once the body is off of it, I can really crack into it because I've got so much that I can just get on with. You know, I mean, the body tub, all right, yeah, I've got to fabricate a fair chunk of it, but I've also got a lot of really good panels that I can just weld into it. So I can get a lot done quite quickly, I think, hopefully, if I get some time up here. But the running fleet kind of has to take priority because, as is the way of things, I don't know if maybe the 16 valves got a little bit jealous of the fact that I've been using that one. I don't know. And it must be said, that does have some issues where it's been sat around not being used, but it's still a bloody delightful car to drive. And I'm not being egoist about it. It's just a nice car to drive. So if I can make the red one as good as the green one, and then maybe make the black one as good as the red one, which is as good as the green one, I'd have 3 pretty nice BXs. But the red one's a long way down the line. Anyway, I am waffling a lot. So yeah, I'm really sorry. There's nothing to update at some point. At some point, you know. I might film a bit of dismantling of the limo, maybe. You know, I'd imagine there's quite a few people in the club that will be quite upset that I'm dismantling it, but you know, it was for sale for a long time. Nobody wanted it. And again, I'm doing it really sympathetically. I'm not just hacking it up with a grinder. So it might be that if I do come into wings and doors and things in the future, I probably could put that car back together. And again, I've got so many bits for that, and I've ended up having multiples of some bits, just because if I see something for sale, click, I buy it. Which is financially a stupid thing to do, but anyway, that's what I've done. So I could probably put that one back together, and if it's tucked in a little container, it ain't going to get any worse. It was sat in a garage for 30 years, so you know, it stands a chance, doesn't it? But I want to do that one, so the parts off that one are going on that one, and that's life. Anyway, right, I'm going to shut up and go now because I've got things to do. Apologies on the wind and everything else. It's proper blowy, but yeah, anyway, thanks for sticking with it, and I promise I will do something with it soon. Hopefully it might be a slightly more interesting video than this, because this has been very boring. But anyway, take care. I'll see you in the next one.